That's a great point, and it's a controversial one. I'll tell you my personal view on it, which is just that. It's a personal view, having surveyed all of the literature. As fun as it is to sort of beat up on corn, my personal belief, again, having looked at the literature, is that the rise in food prices as a result of using corn for ethanol are actually more driven by the rise in the cost of hydrocarbon that accompanies it. What I'm saying is, I have no doubt that using corn to make food drives up the cost of the food. But if you actually look at it, I think it's actually the rising cost of oil alongside it that tends to do that, because of the amount of oil you need to actually do that. I read a report from the USDA that actually talked about how much energy goes into making the corn ethanol. And the problem is that energy is all fossil energy. So when oil prices go up, you actually see an enormous rise in the cost of corn ethanol and the consequent rise in the cost of fuel. So I think what I'm saying is, I think these things are all probably correlated, and it's very difficult for me to tease out which one is one. But you're making a very valid point. You're absolutely correct, and really the point is broader than the land. It's the fresh water. Each gallon of corn ethanol that you make requires 368 gallons of fresh water. So when you start to do the math on that, it becomes the soil availability, the water. There are a lot of reasons to suggest that we shouldn't be using all 90 million acres of corn to make it. And of course, a lot of the companies like ours and other companies that are trying to make advanced biofuels are trying to get around those issues by coming up with platforms that don't require agricultural land, fresh potable water, the sort of resources that should be able to free us up. Because you're right, the United States is one of the few countries that is and can be a net food exporter.